The world famous Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. And good morning, Bob. How you doing?
I'm good.
Ready to make that trip over to Columbus?
I'm ready to roll.
Okay. You know, there's no straight shot to Columbus. You got to go up, down, sideways, forwards, backwards, circle around before you get there. So
We'll find it.
So you got a navigator?
Got a navigator.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord, because you'd probably find it eventually. All right. Well, we've got a special guest on the phone with us this morning. In the green room right now is Pastor Calvin Anderson from Unity Church of God. There's a couple things going on there that he wants to talk about. But first of all, we've got the commissioner, for the Georgia Public Service Commissioner, Tim Echols, on the phone with us right now. And Bob, take it away.
Mr. Echols, we're glad to have you here on the World Famous Butch and Bob Show. Appreciate you being here on the show. First of all, let's start with what is the role and duties of a public service commissioner?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Nobody much knows what we do. I'm sitting in my office at the Capitol right now. I came in early so I could use the landline to give you guys a call. Wish I was there sitting with you in Wayne County right now. We were originally the Railroad Commission back in the day. In 1879, we regulated trains, and there was a significant station in Jesup. It was the crossroads, really, for things coming down from New York, and then folks could go over to the coast from there. So anybody going, say, to the Jekyll Island Club, any of those rich New Yorkers would have come through Jesup in their Pullman car and had it disconnected and put on another train to go to Brunswick. But eventually they gave us everything else on the right-of-way. So electrical lines, gas lines, telegraph lines, telephone lines. And so we are elected by the people in the state of Georgia to make sure that everything's working as it should and everything is reasonably priced as it should be. And the systems work pretty well for us as we continue to elect our commissioners.
And again, I understand you have a Wayne County connection. Your grandparents are from Jesup, is that correct?
My grandparents lived over in Wayne Terrace, and I would come down for the summers, go to the city pool, play tennis. My aunt graduated from Wayne County High School in 1972. She and I shared the same birthday, and I graduated from North Clayton High School up in Atlanta in 1978.
So Cindy, I was class of 72 for Wayne County High School, and what was her maiden name? Cindy's name?
Yes, Tumlin, Tumlin. Folks may have known my very humble and quiet grandfather, Lester Tumlin. He went to First Baptist, taught a Sunday school class there, fought in World War II, killed some Nazis, and was in the Korean conflict, and then served out the rest of his service at Fort Stewart.
And Cindy played tennis, didn't she?
Yes, Cindy was a tennis player, taught me to play tennis, and I wasn't very good, but she was great, and she lives up in North Carolina now.
What years did you come over to Wayne County during the summer?
Yes, I was coming in 1968, 69, 70, 71. And really, as she went over to Georgia Southern, I continued to come down there, and then I went to UGA myself in 1978.
Well,
Bob, we got a fellow dog with us on the phone.
That's
good.
Yeah, we got
Go dogs.
Public
Go
Service
dogs,
Commissioner.
beat Florida.
No doubt. We got Public Service Commissioner Mr. Echols on the phone with us. Again, you guys regulate the utilities, so what does that exactly mean here in the state of Georgia?
You know, when you talk about regulating a utility, it's not a matter of just representing consumers. It's more than that. It's really making sure that this grid is ready for the future. You guys just wouldn't believe how much power is in the queue that we need to supply things like that Hyundai plant up the road, up 95 in Savannah, just off 16. That plant is enormous. If anybody hasn't ridden by it, if they've gone that way to Atlanta, it's going to use about 200 megawatts of power. That's the equivalent of about 210 super Walmarts. That's about how much power is going to be used on that one spot. companies like Rayonier right there in your backyard, in Jesup, and others that are really relying on reliable electricity on the grid. We've got to make sure that as we grow, that we do it, in the right way, and that we can keep costs down, because it's just more and more expensive. The supply chain's more and more constrained to get transformers and everything else, copper, wire. It is expensive to run the grid, especially as smart as things are getting. So it's not just a regular meter on your house anymore. It's a smart meter that communicates with the mothership, that tells the utility when your house is out, so you don't even have to even call them. They know. So all of this smart equipment definitely costs more money.
Now, you just mentioned Rayonier, now RIAM, but you're working with them on utilizing some wood chips for the future. So how's that going?
Yeah, Rayonier already obviously uses a tremendous amount of forest products, but they do have an interest in doing more, and actually becoming a power producer for Georgia Power, and they're bidding into this last RFP that we put out for biomass, meaning they're going to think about all the timber that's being harvested as you ride up and down roads in southeast Georgia, and when the guys take out the saw timber and they leave the limbs and the tops and the roots, and that's all laying in the field. A lot of times they'll pile it up with a bulldozer and put diesel or kerosene on it, and they'll burn it. What Rayonier really wants to do is to be able to chip up those, quote, forest residuals, or slash, as they call it, and then get it over to their plant and burn it for electricity and make some additional revenue. So they're bidding in on this process. We'll see if they win the bid. They're competing against companies like International Paper and others, but it would certainly be more jobs for Jesup, and certainly more tax revenue for the county.
And just joining us on the phone with us is Commissioner Tim Echols, Public Service Commissioner. And we got the nuclear plant right up the road in Baxley, Georgia. Been there since the early 80s. I understand they just completed another unit in Augusta. So what does that mean for the state?
Yeah, if any of you have ever been over to Baxley on US 1 and and seen the power plant, that plant's really served us flawlessly, and it's just got a license extension, so it's going to live another 20 years. But the units up in Augusta, they're Generation 3 reactors, and those two units will serve 1 million homes. It's really substantial. And, as I go to, conferences around the U.S., often people from California, New York, these Yankees, they look down upon Southerners, and they kind of, they mock our accent, and, not in a super ugly way, but you can just tell. And I love the fact that we've done something that none of these other states have been able to do, that we've built something that, other than a spaceship, this is probably the most complicated construction project in the world. And we've done it in Georgia, and we've got a lot to be proud of. You
mentioned the big plant in Savannah. Our Industrial Development Authority, our county commissioner is hoping that some of that business bleeds over to Jesup. Do you see that happening?
Those tier 1 suppliers, they want to be pretty close. I see where a seat plant just confirmed, within about 10 miles of the plant. But there are other parts that would go into that plant, and remember, they've also got a battery factory they're building with LG on that site. I think if Jesup or Wayne County made a tantalizing offer, and it probably would mean some tax abatements or other things like that, there's a chance that they could get it. But Jesup's pretty far away from that plant, and I think it would be difficult without some special incentives or some special connection.
Yeah, and how important is natural gas service to the state of Georgia?
It's still really important. Folks, even though it's not as cold in Jesup as say it is in Ellijay, Georgia, or up in Clayton, Georgia, is still important. A lot of folks, especially poultry producers, they're still using natural gas in those chicken houses. I know my uncle was a egg farmer for a while over in Nahana, and I used to pick up eggs over there when we'd go down for Christmas or whatever. But not so much heating up egg houses, but but the eventual Chick-fil-A sandwich that we get, they use natural gas and propane in keeping those chickens warm as they grow. But I just don't ever see us not using natural gas in Georgia. It's clean, it's fairly cheap. It wasn't cheap during the Ukrainian war startup and during the pandemic, but it's gone back down in price, and hopefully it'll be stable. Hopefully the Middle East thing doesn't impact the price of natural gas.
You mentioned you're in your office at the state capitol. I'm just curious, what's a typical week for a public service commissioner? Do you travel the state, or just what's your week like?
Yeah, nobody wants to come here. I can assure you. Go through metal detectors, come up to the second floor in some obscure state building where you might get mugged, coming in the parking lot or something. And so I find I really have to go out. I have to be on the road. I probably put 100,000 miles, on my cars a year, traveling, the state. I'll be in Camden County, next week, be in, Savannah next weekend, at the Hispanic Chamber event. So I'm just really up and down, speaking to schools, Rotary clubs, engineering societies, meeting with constituent groups. I'll be at Georgia Tech tomorrow, speaking to some students. So I would say 75% of my life is giving speeches and helping people understand what we do. The votes, the hearings that we make are in our hearing room here because we have to have a stenographer. We have, lawyers, witnesses. The commissioners are really like judges. We don't wear robes, but we're really like judges. And when you come into our hearing room, you're going to go, wow, this feels a lot like the way they do a courtroom. And so we are kind of a combination of an executive branch and judicial branch.
Will you be in Jacksonville Saturday?
I will not be in Jacksonville. I'll be sitting on my couch in Houston, Georgia, watching the Dogs play. I was in Jacksonville when Lindsey Scott caught that pass.
You were.
Way back in the day.
There you go.
And everybody knows, Jesup born Lindsey Scott. In fact, I'd gone to my grandmother's house in Jesup, spent the night that Friday night, and then we just drove into Jacksonville for that famous UGA game where Lindsey Scott scored that last touchdown.
Mr. Echols, we sure do appreciate you being here on the show. Again, it was very informative, and hopefully you can make it to Jesup one day. We'll get you in studio.
Hey, I'd love to have you in the studio. Folks can find my Energy Podcast anywhere you get your podcast by searching for Energy Matters with Commissioner Echols. Energy Matters with Commissioner Echols.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
Tim
guys.
Echols, appreciate you calling in. Good talking to you. Glad you got all these good Wayne County connections. It makes you feel like a local guy.
Go Yellow Jackets. Wayne County Yellow Jackets.
Okay, Tim.
Not Georgia Tech.
You're talking about Wayne County. All right.
That's right. Just
Take
Wayne
care.
County.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Public Service Commissioner Tim Echols here on the world-famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup. Well, we got guests in the green room. They'll be on the air in just a moment. Stay tuned.
South Georgia weather.
Here's your WIFO forecast. Partly sunny today, just a light east breeze, highs upper 70s, and partly cloudy tonight, upper 50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, high around 80, clearing upper 50s Thursday night. Friday, mostly sunny, high of 80. Saturday, sunshine, high, low 80s. Sunday, sunshine, high, low 80s. Monday, sunshine, high, low 80s. Tuesday, mostly sunny, highs only mid 70s. Georgia Chief Meteorologist John Weatherby in the GNN Weather Center.
When further treatment is no longer an option, hospice can provide services to manage symptoms and difficulties caused by illness. Emotional, psychosocial, and spiritual care, as well as support to the families and caregivers, are all part of hospice care. Hospice of South Georgia has been a part of the health community in Wayne and surrounding counties since 1998. The professional yet compassionate attention provided by our staff is unsurpassed. Widely supported by donations from the local population, Hospice of South Georgia is the local nonprofit hospice in Wayne County. Our administrative office is located at 1625 Sunset Boulevard, and Hospice of South Georgia accepts anyone who meets hospice criteria, regardless of their ability to pay. Please call 912-588-0080 to speak with someone about hospice care. That was 912-588-0080. We are your hometown hospice, and we are here to serve you. Hospice of South Georgia, working to add life to your days.
105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, WIFO. Bob, that was a good interview with the Public Service Commissioner for the state of Georgia, Tim Echols.
I appreciate him calling in.
Yep. They called us. We want to be on the Butch. I mean, it said on the text, we want to be on the Butch and Bob show. The Tim Echols says, I like to be on the Butch and Bob show. Heard a lot about it, and so we had him on. But now we got some local folks on here from Unity Church of God. Pastor Calvin Anderson on this morning. Good morning, Pastor. How's it going?
Going good.
Going good?
Yes.
All right.
When Mr. Echols talked about Lindsey Scott, I thought about I was in school at that time, and I was a trainer, Bob, with Randy Sharp. And
you were?
I wrapped Lindsey Scott's ankles a lot of times.
I was on
Where,
the side.
here?
Here.
Yeah, Wayne County?
At when Coach Donaldson
was here. I was here.
was the football coach.
I moved back to Jesup Lindsey's senior year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
I don't want to brag, but I was on the sidelines for that game.
He was on the sidelines. He was right down there with the press, jumping up and down.
I was in the end zone and helped. It was a 15-yard penalty after the celebration.
that was awesome.
Vince Dooley scolded me at the Monday press conference, but I said, "What do you want me to do?" I mean, most exciting play in Georgia history.
I'll never forget it myself. I remember I was laying on my bed.
I still got it on video. They filmed it. So.
At my mom and dad's house, and I jumped up. I said, "My God, we've just won the ball game."
Absolutely amazing.
It was.
It was.
Yes.
But y'all got a couple events going on at Unity Church of God that y'all request to come on the show to talk about. Let's go ahead and do that right now.
Well, this coming Saturday, we'll get that one first, is our fall festival, and we're doing it starting in the morning time, just something different, from 10:30 to 1 o'clock, and just having some times for the children with games, some inflatables. They always like the inflatables. We're going to have pony rides. I think Mr. Gene McLean is even going to be there with his two big Cadillac horses and
Cadillac horses?
Yes, that's a long time Cadillac years ago, but anyway, with this big wagon that he has, we're going to have pony rides there too. We're going to have food and some games for the children. So we're doing our fall festival then on the 28th. That's this coming Saturday, and starting at 10:30. And we'll be in the parking lot facing Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
So that's where we'll be at. So I just want to encourage everybody to come. It is free. There's no charge, just time of fellowship. They're even gonna have like a little train ride, some carts that's made up. They call it a little train ride. They enjoy that every time. In fact, Hagan, he's in here with us today.
Your son.
Him and Chris Lynn are going to have a little booth set up where the children can rope. Hagan does some team roping, and even Chris Lynn has done that too in the rodeo. In fact, Hagan participated in the rodeo in Scriven when they had it. And him and Colby Wright come in 5th place, I think, out of 21 teams. So, and they won a little money, so that's the best part about it. But they're going to have a little booth set up where the children, children's always amazed about something they never get to do. But they'll be able to rope a dummy, and so that'll be interesting for them.
Okay, and that's coming up this Saturday.
Yep.
Free Fall Festival begins at what time again? If you know
10:30.
10:30 is for everyone. It's in the parking lot there, facing towards Sunset. All kinds of activities. So just bring the kids there. They're going to have a blast, and you won't have to spend a dime, parents.
That's right. And then the next thing that
before we go into that,
okay.
Y'all were supposed to be on the Butch and Bob show last week, but something came up. What was that, Calvin?
Well, my daughter Hope, that both of y'all know, gave birth to a little boy, Harrison.
All right.
Harrison, 6 pounds and 11 ounces, and they are doing good and just excited. So Hope now, they have a little girl that's 11. Her name's Harper, and then the little boy that his name's Harrison. So we are all excited. So me and Hagan had to leave early Wednesday morning. We didn't get back till Thursday night. It was Thursday night, yeah. So we were on the go, and I apologize that we had to miss.
Oh, that's all right. I mean,
but
Grandpa's got to be up there.
Got
for
to
that.
go, but thank the Lord, everything's good and she's healthy.
Great, that is fantastic. Harrison, brand new boy.
Yep, he is. So
That's great. Just
want to get to see him some more. So, but anyway, we'll get to go back and see him, and hopefully they'll get to come.
All right. And you have another event coming up at Unity Church of God. Pastor Calvin Anderson with us, so tell us about it.
It's Veterans Day. Veterans Day is on the 11th. They'll have a Veterans Day parade. Mr. Larry Brantley was in with me last time, and they'll be promoting that. Hopefully, we will be able to participate in that too, and because I have a wedding on that date. So just kind of busy weekend. But on the 12th, we're going to have a Veterans Day honoring the veterans on that Sunday. And our service starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. We are going to have a lunch for everyone. After that, the veterans, their spouse, children, or whoever they can bring. Some veterans' spouse may be passed away, and it may be one of their children that can come with them. And if their children can't come, a friend or whoever. But we just need for them to contact the church at 530-6625, or they can also contact the church by email at office@unitycog.com. We would like for them to give us their name, a picture if possible, and the branch of service that they served in. We would like to, hopefully during that service, scroll all of that, but we got to have it by the first weekend of November the 3rd, and that's what we really need. We have a guest speaker, Bishop Wade Miller. He is a USA Regional Director, ministry to the military, a tremendous speaker. He's going to be with us. But, I just want to say, coming here this morning, I was listening to, I believe it was Fox News, and what's going on right now in this world. I think over with the war that's going on, I believe if I heard it right, there's 2,000 children have already been killed with this war that's going on because of wickedness, really is what it is. And I think about what our veterans fought for us to have the freedom that we have today. And I don't want to forget that. A lot of times even in the ministry, we have ministers retire from pastoral duties, and a lot of times they get forgotten. And I don't want to do that. I want to say to our veterans, thank you for all that you've done. And I think a lot of even children today don't realize the cost of freedom that we have here in America. And I think about what's going on in Israel. I think about 9/11. It devastated people, and still people are affected by that today. And we need to appreciate these people, men and women, that has stood up for us to have the freedom that we have today. And like I said before, when I see American flag flying, man, it does something for me. When I hear the old rugged cross, it does something for me. And both of those things mean a lot to me in my life. And we as Americans do not need to forget the American flag and the old rugged cross. When we see what's going on with the confusion in our White House, in the state level, even seems like in local level, the people can't get along who is in leadership positions. And I think a lot of times we forget that we're here to serve. We're here to lead and continue to carry on the legacy of the freedom that we have. And I think that's the big thing that we need to remember.
Okay. And once again, talk about your Veterans Day program you just mentioned quickly once again.
It is, that is on November the 12th. We will start at 10 a.m. Sunday morning with the worship service. We want all veterans to come. We need you to contact the church either by phone or email, and it's on our Facebook also, I believe. But we need you to go ahead and respond and get this in. We want to have a nice meal for you. All of it is free. There's no charge. We just want to say thank you to our veterans who has served. And we want to say we appreciate you, and we have not forgotten you. And we just want to honor you on that day. It's going to be a special day. Like I said, when I come in here before, I seen something on July the 4th, said that if you can't stand for the national anthem, give your legs to a veteran. He'll stand for you. That thing really hit me because of people who even lost their life during the wars that we've had. And those that are still living, we want to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, Veterans Day, honoring all who served. You're invited to Veterans Day service and luncheon. Guest speaker, Bishop Wade Miller, USA Regional Director, Ministry to the Military. Sunday, November 12th at Unity Church of God. It begins at 10 a.m. All veterans are invited.
Yeah.
And please contact the church in advance to let them know that you're going to be there, okay?
Yes. And also, I asked Hagan, my dad was a veteran, World War II. And when my dad died, I remember that flag over his coffin. I didn't even know it, but Hagan wrote a song about my dad for the funeral. And I asked him, I said, I want you to sing this song today. And I don't even think heard it since then. But I just thank God for my dad and you know, him serving, and we even still have his uniform, and those kind of things mean a lot to me. So we want it to be a special day, a fun day, a good day for our veterans to say, hey, thank you. And so I asked Hagan to sing this song, and if it's all right, he's going to do that.
Yeah, I even got my dad's dog tags from
Wow.
He was in the Air Force and served in the Korea War.
My
I've
dad,
got him hanging in my office, and there are his dog tags.
my dad was in the Army and stationed in Germany. So
Yep. All right, Hagan, tell us a little about the song and get started.
Well, I wrote this song, like you said, about my papa. You know, I started writing it before he passed away, and then after he passed away, I finished it and all. And I just, like he said, I wanted to sing it today and in memory of him and all. You know, I'm sure everybody else, you know, hopefully can relate to the song and hope it touches them. And
Okay.
so
I'll take it away.
here we go.
Hagan.
6:30 in the morning, that rooster's a crowing, but Papa's already up and he's eating. Me and Daddy's driving, I fall asleep to the silence. We got plenty of work there to do before the evening. I end up talking to Papa on the couch, and the things he said I'll never forget about. 'Cause when Papa tells a story, ain't no telling what you'll hear. It could be those childhood days or those old war years. He'll talk and talk for hours, and you'll just sit right there. 'Cause when Papa tells a story, ain't no telling what you'll hear. And he talks of the old days just like it was yesterday. And even though I've heard it before, still I listen. And he smiles when he thinks back of the times that he's had. And I'll never forget those moments. I'm glad I listened. We talked and talked for hours on that couch. and the things he said I'll never forget about. 'Cause when Papa tells a story, ain't no telling what you'll hear. It could be those childhood days or those old war years. He'll talk and talk for hours, and you'll just sit right there. 'Cause when Papa tells a story, ain't no telling what you'll hear. The stories he told, the things he said, those memories that we have shared are special in my heart. One day I'll tell my kids. When Papa tells a story, ain't no telling what you'll hear. It could be those childhood days or those old war years. We'll talk and talk for hours. You'll just sit right there. 'Cause when Papa tells a story, it's the memories that you'll hear.
That's good. That's real good. Your tribute to your granddad.
Sir.
All right. Well, Calvin, good luck with the fall festival this Saturday at Unity Church of God, beginning at 10:30. You said
10:30.
10:30. It's all free, and then of course you got the Veterans Day program on November 12th there at Unity Church of God. You can go to their Facebook page and learn all about it.
And we're excited about this, and we want to say thank y'all, Butch and Bob, for giving us the opportunity to come in, and thank you for all you do in this community, and it means so much. And that song was a powerful song.
It is.
So many people has said he ought to record that song, and it's just those memories. Memories are important, and I thank God for being able to have those memories.
Okay. Well, y'all have a great day at a Super Fall Festival and a really good Veterans Day program, okay?
Thank you.
All right. WIFO FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio, 105.5 FM, the world-famous Butch and Bob show here on WIFO, brought to you by Van's Barbecue, First Southern Bank, Murphy Builder Supply, O'Quinn & Associates, and Connection Coffee and Creamery.